taught to get along with people who aren't even Muslim, right? So why wouldn't we get along with Muslims who just have a different understanding of what Islam is? And furthermore, the difference between a Sunni and Shia ultimately is a different interpretation of hadith and following different people who interpret hadith in history. It comes down to that. We have the same Quran, but again, like people kind of simplify it. We have the same Quran. I'm like, yeah, but if we have different people, we have different tafsirs, right? So if you have a different tafsir and different scholars, yeah, the things are going to be interpreted differently. But at the end of the day, I think Muslims are Muslims, right? Because like if there's even disagreements amongst the actual like Sahaba, then why wouldn't there be disagreements amongst scholars? So people think that because scholars disagree, one person's wrong. It's like, is anyone here God? Like, no, right? So that's my take on the issue. But I think the problem is that, and I'm gonna cut myself here after I say this because I'm talking too much. But I think the problem is how we address unity. See, I see people who their way of talking about of having unity, right? Their ultimate goal is just unity idea. But it's to say, brother, there's no difference. There's no difference. Don't even mention Shia. Don't even mention Sunni. I'm just Muslim. Mm-hmm. I'm just Muslim. You ask someone who they are, I'm just Muslim, brother. Don't say Shia. That's sectarianism, right? Don't mention the differences. And to me,
so that's unity or that's sectarianism? You're saying that's some people's idea of unity.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
And I'm saying, to me, that's the equivalent of saying, brother Hussein, you're not black. You're human.
Yeah.
I don't see color, brother.
You're not white, man.
I can't see the texture of your hair being different.
Uh-huh.
I'm like,
you're just ignoring reality.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, you can still. Yeah. Anyways, continue. That's all you have to say.
Yeah.
I guess my take on unity is, I think I have yet to hear an explanation of two things. One is, and this can be applied to like a lot of things. What is the goal of unity? Is it? Yeah, I guess like what is the goal of unity? Because I get into a lot of these I go into a lot of these multicultural intra-faith spaces or even interfaith spaces, and like you said, everyone's like kumbayaing like we're all the same. Mm-hmm. Even if you're at a place with like Christians and Jews, which are pretty different, but that's the attitude is still had. Mm. And so my question is like, it doesn't seem like there's a clear goal for us to strive towards together. Because what else would we be unified for? I guess that's like my kind of thing I'm trying to understand and have yet to be explained to me in a way that makes sense. So that's one thing. And then you can like speak to that if you have an idea. And the second thing is like kind of in the same vein is people ask unity. But if there is someone that I don't view as a Muslim, for example, what is my incentive to have that unity? Now, that doesn't mean I hate them. That doesn't mean I like try to kill them. That doesn't mean I have animosity towards them. But like, why should I go out of my way and make myself uncomfortable? Like, what is the incentive in doing that? Outside of like, perhaps like the general like respect and brotherhood that you're supposed to have between your fellow man, right? So they're kind of like two, not issues, but things that I always kind of had questions about in terms of unity. And just to give a personal example, and I said this last week as well, I don't have an urge or desire to have unity with someone from the Nation of Islam. I don't have an urge or desire to have unity with an Ahmadi. Like, and then like, I guess the second question, how do we decide like which order of
operations?
Yeah, like the order of operations as far as unity is concerned, like who has most priority, and then like going all the way down, right? These are kind of questions I've just always had. This is not to say that we shouldn't pursue unity. I just want some clarity.
You're just asking questions.
Yeah.
You're honestly being very humble just to say, I don't have an opinion. Like, you didn't give your opinion. You're asking questions. Yeah. You're asking good questions. I don't know. I mean, I think on the first point, I have an idea. I think
say it.
The first I think honestly the benefit of unity is more it's not a religious one. It's a it's like a dunya one.
Mhm.
It's about like consoling power for the Muslims.
Consolidating.
Consolidating power.
Uh-huh.
Thank you. What would I do without you? Like I'd be saying stuff wrong all the time. And you're like correcting me. I'd be sounding 10 times more stupid. Consolidating like power consolidation. I
Mhm.
think is, to be very frank, I think that's the biggest motivation.
Mhm.
There's always like this there's this notion of the potential Muslim empire. People it's very glamorous. People hold on to it. Like people talk about like the ancient Arab empire or like the Turks, right? Like let's go back to like when Turkey was like a massive Muslim empire, right?
Mm.
It's like there's these ideas that people hold on to, and I think they're fair, right? Like if I'm a Muslim, why wouldn't I want to see like a Muslim world in a sense? I think that's probably the biggest one, to be honest. And like
like people outside of America or the West in general, like that live in Muslim countries,
yeah,
if that's like the most important thing, a lot of them will have a far less incentive even to create unity, right?
I don't think so. I mean, I think it's the same thing.
Like what Muslim power is there to consolidate? Our government is Muslim. For example.
More like our government would get bigger if like we expand with like with that Shia government over there. We join to one, and then we take over this Christian country. They become Muslim, and then we join here.
So conquest.
Yeah, it's basically conquest. I think that's like a lot of people they have in their minds.
I will say. I just thought of this as you were talking. If by unity people mean like destigmatizing the other, as in like not having nasty thoughts about them, not thinking they deserve death, like all these kind of things, then yeah, I understand. Like I think that's a worthy goal to pursue. But after that is kind of also where I have questions, because a lot of the unity spaces I've been to, no one is like these guys are with the vibe, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like no one's actually, you're not dispelling anything for that group of people. So then after, dispelling those things, what's next? Because that's like the argument for like, the same thing can be said for like masajid or like communities that are all one race. And people are like, oh, we need like diversity.
Mm-hmm.
And the people that are in them are like, why?
Why? I'm vibing.
Why? And the people that are for it, one of the things they cite is like, kind of that destigmatizing. And when you live and rub shoulders with, the other, they stop being the other and just start being like a person. Like, stop being identified by that otherness though.